because some important things coming up for you. This might be the conclusion for your consideration. The topic is ecotourism and the management by the objectives to reaching successful conclusion. We have 5 factors together to consider. Number 1 is the emphasis on development and protection of the environment. The development and the protection of the environment. I would like you to keep in mind that the environment has 2 meanings. Number 1 is the nature. Of course, everyone knows the natural element, the forest, the animals, the plants, the river, the sea, the ocean, the mountain, and so on. We need them to continue to be as they have been, and also at the same time can be useful for the humanity to a certain degree. And the second item is the built environment. So people usually understand that the environment is just the nature. No. Built environment, which has to do with the things that built by human, past or present or even in the future. Yes. And that to keep in mind that we need to keep these also and protect them. Like the ancient ruins, okay, Pyramid of Egypt in mind. The temples, the wat, the ancient monuments and landmarks and so on. See that we human built even the house where people have homestays. That also the environment, the living environment. So that we emphasize this and to have the protection and to develop them to meet the needs and the challenge of tourism. The second point is the emphasis on the participation. Ecotourism, to be very successful, you need the participation of all the so-called stakeholders. The stakeholders could be private citizens, private sectors, government sector, or you call it public sector, the academics. They also can cooperate and help each other, and especially the community members who are the base of all this doing. So that once you have all this participation in full, or the more you have participation, the more you can be successful in the attempt for your tourism, even ecotourism, cultural tourism, or community-based tourism, whatever. Number 3 is we need a learning center and networks in the ecotourism and community-based tourism. Going into visiting in terms of eco and cultural or community-based tourism is just going to watch and look and then enjoy watching and then going back. There's nothing left in your hands except you buy some gifts. But the key is the learning. The learning can be both sides. The exchanges, cultural exchanges between the visitors and the hosts. The 2 sides coming together to have the feeling out. That is the first order of the exchange, and to have networks, feeling out, feeling good to each other, and then you have something to learn from that situation. The learning center cannot only be just a building. or an institution, but you can go very far in the Mekong River, and this is the learning center. It's not just a location. It's all the way down the stream. You can learn a lot of things about the fish, the trees, and so on. Okay, in that situation, you learn, become a student again, but a student by your own volunteering spirit, not by force or by any means. You just be interested and learn and get the things that once you come back home, that can be very useful for you. And you can remember the days that the learning was so enjoyable. This learning must be enjoyable, not the hardship, okay? So that this is the third factor to be successful in this tourism attempt. The number 4 factor is the consideration of the carrying capacity. A lot of tourist attraction, a lot of tourist places are ruined because once they become famous, they let a lot, unlimited numbers of tourists coming in, and a lot of them took advantage. They come in sort of and become a sort of destruction of the place, like destroying the trees, the place, the ancient things that should be kept intact. Because too many people, you cannot control them. And once you overcrowd or beyond your limit of capacity, you cannot give good catering or good taking care of them, and there will be complaint. You don't have that, we don't have this, we don't have, because you don't have enough people to take care of a lot of people. So that you have to limit to your capacity. How many people a day, how many people a month, not just as much as we can get, that's impossible. And once it becomes ruinous for the place. In Thailand, in some cases, we have some good island. They shut down, they stop the tourists from coming during the monsoon season. Because once the monsoon comes, you have a lot of rains coming, and the rain will revitalize the forest, and a lot of trees growing up again. And once the rain stops, people keep coming back. This is the cycle throughout the year, which means this is a part of carrying capacity too. If your place cannot be good for the tourists all the time, just don't mind, just stop for a while and keep the place revitalized once again. Okay, and have enough people, not too many. Like in homestay situation, you can happily, the most people you have 4, but the tourists a lot more come, and you have, well, maybe 10. So your bathroom is going to be problems. Your food and your own capacity to entertain the guests, too many of them, you cannot do that. Okay, this is the carrying capacity to the limit. And the last thing is number 5 is the emphasis on the products, the local products that will lead to more incomes for the villagers, for the community members. The local products, of course, should be based on the local resources, right? Like the trees, the animals, where you can easily find locally, so that it's easier to manage. It's easier to have the sustainable result from this, because once you keep the local resources in control, you can have continuation of producing things like the tea leaves or whatever, which come once again because you don't have the destruction of the tree. And the creation of the income is very important. And suits every government's policy, the governments all over the world want the people to have more income in the village, in the city, in town. And if you can have more local products, which means the local people will have more income, will have more income distribution. This is one large success of the tourism to keep in mind. Thank you.